Hal closes his eyes. He can see it. A ring of light. A voice stretches out from the darkness and calls to him. Hal Jordan, judgment was made, but penance can be, the voice whispers. But the darkness is overcome with red, and a new voice speaks, angrier than the last. Penance? You were right. You are right. You are always right. The truth is there for all to see. God is not a ring of light. God is a big black zero. The dark circle around everything. And inside the circle is a single black star. Be the black star, Hal, the voice orders. But Hal shakes his head and opens his eyes. No, I don't want to, he whispers. He looks up at Jo, who floats above him. Her body is encased in a green glowing light. Hal, you need to snap out of this. Stop letting this thing control you. This black hand or whatever it is. I don't want to hurt you, Jo shouts at him. Hal gets to his feet. Darkness is still leaking from his eyes like tears. I wish you could, but it won't let you, Hal tells her, motioning for her to run before he can hurt her. But Jo refuses. She motions to the destruction around them. I can't just leave you here. Come on, Hal. Look what you did, she shouts. Suddenly, anger overwhelms Hal. The darkness takes over his voice. What I did? He snarls at her. The black hand reaches out, slamming Jo hard and knocking her away, tossing her into the ground and cracking the earth beneath the force of her impact. The darkness swirls around Hal, creating an armor-like hide with strange red eyes staring out. Jo looks up in fear as the massive black hand reaches for her. What I did? What happened to Evergreen, Jo? Hal demands as he stalks forward. The past. Jo and Todd sit in the diner. Evergreen is quiet and dark. Jo sighs and looks up from her beer. I think I know what happened to everyone, Todd. All those people that Abby didn't see in the general store. Who didn't stockpile toilet paper and pasta and coffee. All the people we thought were sheltering in place, she says. Todd nods and takes a sip from his drink. They're gone. They got one by one, he tells her after finishing his beer. But they are interrupted when Hal walks through the door, the dropped service pistol in hand, his yellow bullets in the magazine. You ready? He asks. Jo looks down at her beer, questioning why they are the last 3 in a town of 3,000. Finally, she chugs the last of her drink. Hell with it. Maybe I'll ask him, she says as she stands and heads towards the door. She doesn't stop, stepping out into the street and beginning to shout for their strange alien visitor. Abin Sur! I want to talk to you! She shouts into the night sky. Hal and Todd watch from the shadow of the doorway, readying their weapon. I want to talk to you, Abin Sur. I have questions, Jo continues to shout. Suddenly, the dark street is lit by the green glow of Abin Sur as he descends upon them. Sojourner Mulane, be without fear, Abin Sur rumbles as he floats before her. Jo looks at him sadly and finally asks her question. Why? Why did you kill them all? She asks. Abin Sur stares at her for a moment. Them all? I do not have understanding, the alien finally tells her. In the doorway, Hal raises the weapon and takes aim. Jo's got the hard part. All I need is a clear shot, he whispers to Todd. Abin Sur lands gently in front of Jo. Existence ended for Jason Simmons as an accident of the barrier and his relative speed. Existence ended for Rita Powell as a considered judgment, as her chaotic action ended existence for Beatrice Coles. Continued chaotic action was unacceptable. No other existence has ended as an action of this Abin Sur. Jo takes a step back in surprise. She doesn't understand. She saw them die. You murdered John in front of us. You killed Guy. The whole town. You disintegrated them all, she snaps at him. But Abin Sur's gaze remains strong. Sojourner Mulane, no other existence has ended as an action of this Abin Sur, he repeats. Jo glances back at Hal and Todd. They're alive? She whispers. Abin Sur begins to glow again. The green light emanating from his skin. Disintegrated. Taken apart. Implication of end state. Have understanding. That did not occur. They exist in Oa. They are within the Omega Alpha. They are in the second stage. And judgment remains in progress, he tells her as he raises his arms, a green circle appearing around him. In the doorway, Hal lowers his weapon. Todd reaches for him, but Hal waves him off. He's actually talking to her. She's communicating with him. Maybe we don't need the gold bullets. Maybe we can end this here. Everything could end right here, Hal whispers to his friend. Jo takes another step forward. She demands answers about the judgment, about the second stage. Can you bring them back? She asks. Continued existence must be within light. Judgment must be made. I am the Abin Sur. Ein must be selected. Ein Rao. Ein Sur. Ein Or. Initiates must be selected. Initiates against the darkness, Abin Sur tells her. But Jo still doesn't understand. Abin Sur's gaze is harder, staring into her. Be with fear, Sojourner Mulane. Fear Quard. Fear the weaponers of Quard, Abin Sur tells her. He begins to glow again and rise into the air. Now you have understanding. Judgment is in progress, he tells her. But Jo still wants answers. She reaches out for him before he can leave, before he can return to his ship. There is a spark of energy as her gold wedding ring comes into contact with the green aura. Energy suddenly passes between them. Jo's eyes and mouth begin to emit the glowing green energy, and Abin Sur's eyes widen in surprise. Images begin to flow between the two of them with the energy. Jo sees strange worlds, strange creatures, deep pink skin and yellow eyes, a ring of light, a black star. The energy fully passes into Jo, and she begins to glow and rise into the air. Abin Sur falls to the earth, and he raises a shaky hand towards her. Chaotic action. Anomaly. Anomaly, he bellows. Jo looks at her glowing body, unsure of what is happening. Suddenly, the green barrier collapses around them. Far overhead, the green spaceship suddenly stops glowing and plummets from the sky, slamming into the ground and causing a massive explosion in Evergreen, ripping apart buildings and creating a massive crater. Later, outside the disaster of Evergreen, the US military has set up a perimeter around the disaster area. A helicopter buzzes in. Well now, isn't that the prettiest sight you ever did see? he whispers. He looks to his assistant, asking if anyone else has tried to lay claim to the fallen craft. Am I about to see any sticky fingerprints from Lazarus? He asks her. She taps her datapad and shakes her head. They may have the knowledge, but with their ongoing situation, they couldn't get ahead of us in response, she tells him. Hammond smiles and pours himself a glass of champagne as the helicopter lands. See, that's an answer I like. But let's beef up the security perimeter a little. This is the kind of opportunity people get interested in. We've got our own little Gateway City event happening, right here in Nevada. And as of now, it belongs to Hector Hammond, the genius says as he steps out of the helicopter and walks towards the crashed ship. And that is the conclusion to Absolute Green Lantern issue 4. What is gonna happen next between Hal, the Black Star, and Joe, the Green Lantern? And what will Hector do with the ship? Plus, we had a fun mention of Lazarus being busy with Superman, and a reference to the Gateway City event from Wonder Woman, both of which we have covered on the channel and I will link below. But if you enjoyed today's video, please like it and leave a comment below. And subscribe to the channel and make sure those notifications are turned on if you want to know when more videos come out. I'm Dan with Comicstorian, and we will see you next time. Rest in peace, Benny.